red lights again. You're half asleep beside the window, coffee warm in both your hands. Morning traffic crawling slowly under faded apartment signs. The radio keeps cutting static, weather says it's gonna rain. You draw little shapes into the fog on the passenger side glass. And somehow even Mondays feel softer next to you. Traffic lights and half-awake eyes, city moving way too fast, everybody chasing somewhere while we drift between the lanes. You lean back and close your eyes like the world can wait a while. Funny how a quiet moment can reset an entire life. For a little while, there's a guy outside the bakery, still arranging chairs alone. Someone runs to catch the crosswalk, holding breakfast in their coat. You start talking about nothing, random dreams from late last night, and I keep missing half your sentences, watching sunlight hit your face. Maybe peace is just small mornings repeated enough times. Traffic lights and half-awake eyes, rain beginning on the roof, people calling elevators, rushing into crowded rooms. Still inside this so-called stereo, everything feels slow, like we somehow built our own world between work and going home. I used to think happiness would look more dramatic than this. Traffic lights and half-awake eyes, morning finally turning gold, clouds breaking above the highway while the city wakes below. You smile without looking at me, coffee balanced on your knees, and suddenly this ordinary life feels exactly where I'm meant to be. Red lights again, still nowhere else to go. Same train every morning, same sleepy coffee shop, same guy reading newspapers at the corner by the door. You're always bored at Central, 3 minutes after me. Still somehow every weekday feels different when you smile. Funny how routines start meaning something. Same train every morning, same stations passing by, people wearing tired faces under fluorescent lights. You lean your head against the window, sunlight on your sleeve, and suddenly the whole rush hour feels softer than it should. Every single week there's a singer near the platform, playing songs nobody knows. A businessman keeps humming softly like he forgot he's late again. You laugh about the weather like it's brand new every day, and somehow I still listen like it's the first time hearing it. Maybe comfort grows slowly without anybody noticing. Yeah. Same train every morning, rain beginning on the tracks, announcements through old speakers love had to interrupt your life completely. Same train every morning, clouds breaking into gold, people rushing through the stations with somewhere else to go. You smile before getting off, coffee warming both your hands, and suddenly I don't mind doing this all again. Same train tomorrow morning, I'll probably look for you.
You got the words wrong again. You got the words wrong again. Windows down on the highway, coffee shaking in the cup. You keep singing way too loudly to songs you barely know. There's sunlight on the dashboard, your shoes up on the seat, and somehow every red light turns into a comedy show. You swear that's how the lyrics go, even when they clearly don't. You always sing the wrong lyrics, still somehow it sounds alright, turning every boring morning into something I replay. People rushing through the crosswalks, Monday written on their face, but inside this little car everything feels lighter. Wrong again, sing it anyway. There's a man outside the diner, trying to fix a broken sign. A dog runs across the parking lot like it owns the entire street. You start drumming on the window with the rhythm of the song, then forget the next whole sentence and make something up instead. Honestly, I think I like your version better sometimes. You always sing the wrong lyrics, laughing halfway through the lines. Morning traffic barely moving, rain beginning in the sky. Still somehow this tiny chaos feels exactly right today, like the world stopped trying so hard for a minute. Maybe happiness sounds a little messy sometimes. You always sing the wrong lyrics, clouds breaking into gold, people heading into offices trying not to spill their coffee. You look over and start laughing before the chorus even starts, and suddenly this ordinary drive feels like my favorite song. Wrong again, don't ever fix it.
Blue coffee in a paper cup, rain hanging over downtown. You're reading messages half awake, while the station fills with sound. A busker sings beside the entrance, nobody slows down enough. Still his voice keeps floating upward through the smell of morning bread. Some days arrive quietly before you're ready for them. Blue coffee and tired eyes, Monday underneath the clouds. People walking faster than their thoughts, trying hard to wake up. You look outside without speaking, tracing circles on the glass. And somehow this whole city feels softer when you're here for a little while. Your headphones play the same old song you've heard 1,000 times. Still you hum the chorus slightly, like it means something new today. The cafe lights reflecting puddles, taxi door slam in the rain, and every ordinary detail feels cinematic somehow. Maybe beautiful things usually happen unnoticed. Blue coffee and tired eyes, steam rising through the cold. Someone spills their drink beside us, someone misses the train. Still between the noise and movement and fluorescent office lights, we keep finding tiny moments that make the rush feel human. I used to think peace would feel more dramatic than this. Blue coffee and tired eyes, morning slowly turning gold. Rain clouds breaking over rooftops as the city starts to glow. You smile while fixing your jacket, music leaking from your phone, and suddenly this crowded Monday feels almost beautiful. Blue coffee. One more Monday morning.
Sun through the curtains, landing across the bed. You're still wrapped in blankets, halfway between dreams and daylight. Coffee's already brewing somewhere down the hall, and the neighbor's old radio leaks softly through the wall. Nothing important's happening, still somehow this feels enough. Sun through the curtains, slow dancing on the floor. Tiny little moments I never noticed before. You laugh without a reason, stretching toward the light, and somehow ordinary mornings keep turning beautiful. Little by little, a bicycle rolls past outside. Someone walks their dog. The bakery opens early, sending warmth into the street. You keep humming random melodies while searching for your keys, then forget what you were doing halfway through the room. Maybe peace looks smaller than we imagined growing up. Sun through the curtains, dust floating in the gold, phones buzzing on the counter. People rushing out the door, still inside this tiny apartment. Time moves carefully, like the whole world softened just enough to breathe. I think happiness sometimes sounds like nothing at all. Sun through the curtains, morning opening slow. clouds fading over rooftops. As the city starts to glow, you smile while pouring coffee, music low behind the scene, and suddenly this simple life feels more than I need. Sun through the curtains, that's enough for me.
Oh, yeah. Laundry spinning in the kitchen, rain resting on the glass, Sunday drifting through the apartment, slow enough to finally breathe. You're reading old magazines with your feet across the chair, talking about absolutely nothing, like it's the most important thing. Funny how the quiet days end up staying with you longest, side by side, watching little moments pass, coffee rings and open windows, afternoons that never rush. Nothing here is perfect, still I wouldn't move a thing. Somehow life feels lighter, just sitting next to you, side by side. Side by side. The neighbor starts playing piano 3 floors underneath. A dog barks somewhere in the alley, then the whole street settles down, and you start laughing at a story before you even finish it. And I realize I've stopped checking what time it is again. Maybe happiness is smaller and quieter than we thought. Side by side, while the daylight slowly fades, music humming through the hallway, blue light hanging in the rain. Still between these ordinary hours and unfinished conversations, we built something steady without even trying to. I used to think good memories had to be loud to matter. Evening turning into gold, cars moving softly underneath the apartment windows glow. You lean against my shoulder, half asleep and smiling still, and suddenly the whole world feels simple enough to hold. Side by side, that's all I really need.
T-shirt spinning in the dryer, windows open to the street. Someone's playing old Motown from a car across the block. You dance barefoot through the kitchen, carrying folded clothes, like the whole apartment somehow turned into a Sunday song. Nothing special happened today, still I don't wanna forget it. Golden hour laundry, sunlight hanging in your hair, dust floating through the living room like tiny sparks in the air. You start singing with the music even when you miss the notes, and suddenly this tired little week doesn't feel so heavy anymore. Not anymore. There's lemonade beside the window, ice melting way too fast. Neighbors laughing on the rooftop somewhere down the avenue. You stop halfway through a sentence, just to watch the evening light stretch and gold across the ceiling like the room itself exhaled. Maybe peace arrives right before you notice it. Golden hour, laundry, warm and moving through the halls. Phones forgotten on the table while the daylight slowly falls. You keep talking about someday like it's waiting down the road, but honestly this tiny moment already feels like enough. I spent years searching for better days, then one showed up quietly. Golden hour, laundry, streetlights waking one by one. Music drifting from apartments mixing with the cooling air. You lean against the doorway, smiling, holding half-folded clothes, and for a second all the noise outside feels impossibly far away. Somebody changes the song downstairs, and you keep humming anyway.
Quarter past 9 at the station, everybody's running late. A businessman drops his breakfast and pretends he's doing great. You're fixing your reflection in the dark train window glass, using yesterday's receipt to wipe coffee from your hands. The whole city looks exhausted, trying hard not to show it. Quarter past 9, and nobody really knows what they're doing with their lives. They're just good at looking busy. You laugh while tying up your hair like Monday's just a joke, and somehow that tiny moment makes the morning easier. Just a little easier. The cafe near the crosswalk burned another batch again. Still the line keeps getting longer, like people need the ritual. Someone's talking way too loudly on a phone beside the door. Someone else keeps falling asleep, standing on the train. Maybe we're all just pretending we figured things out already. Oh, quarter past 9, rainwater on the avenue, taxi lights reflecting gold under tired office shoes. Still between the noise and movement and another crowded day, you keep finding ways to make the city feel human. I used to think adulthood would feel more organized than this. Quarter past 9, clouds breaking into light, people rushing through revolving doors under pale blue skies. You wait before the train doors close, coffee balanced in your sleeve, and somehow I'm already waiting for tomorrow morning again. The announcement cuts out halfway. Nobody even looks up. Northbound train at 7:30, everybody half asleep. Coffee cups and wrinkled jackets, morning printed on their sleeves. You text me, don't forget your umbrella, 3 minutes before the rain. Like somehow you always notice things I miss completely. Funny how certain people make hard days feel smaller. Northbound through another Monday morning, gray skies hanging over downtown. Still the radio sounds warm. You say call me when your shift ends, like it's nothing serious. But somehow those little words carry me through the day, through the whole day. Someone's playing guitar badly near the tunnel by the bridge. A woman laughs into her headphones, walking faster than the crowd. You send me blurry photos of the bakery near your office and complain about the coffee like you do every week. Maybe comfort sounds a lot like repeated conversations. Northbound, rain sliding down the windows, streetlights fading into daylight under cloudy silver skies. Still between the crowded platforms and unfinished afternoon plans, we keep building something steady inside ordinary time. I used to think love would arrive loudly all at once. Clouds breaking over rooftops, people pouring from the stations into another restless day. Text, did you eat yet? Right before my stop arrived, and suddenly the whole city feels less heavy than before. The train doors close slowly, somebody hums the wrong melody.
Downtown sneakers hitting pavement, crosswalk countdown flashing red. Everybody moving quickly, like the whole world overslept. You got headphones around your neck now, coffee balanced like a skill, sunlight bouncing off the buildings, turning windows into gold. Some mornings feel electric before anything begins. Downtown sneakers running through the avenue, taxi horns and station echoes. Monday waking up too soon, you keep laughing at the chaos like the city's on your side. And somehow all this noise starts sounding kinda beautiful. Ooh, 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 ooh. Kinda beautiful. Someone drops a stack of papers, wind sends them down the block. A barista burns the first round, still the line keeps moving on. You stop dancing at the crosswalk only when the light turns green, and disappear into the crowd like a scene from some old movie. Maybe confidence looks smaller than magazines and make it seem. Downtown sneakers, rain drying on the rail, sunlight cutting through the clouds over early office towers. Still between the Russian movement and conversations overheard, you make ordinary Mondays feel lighter than they are. I used to think freedom meant leaving everything behind. Downtown sneakers, downtown sneakers, oh yeah. Downtown sneakers, hey, bikers, morning stretching through the streets. People chasing different versions of the life they think they need. You wave before the subway closes, music leaking from your phone, and suddenly this Russian city feels a little more alive. Ooh, 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 ooh. The crosswalk starts beeping again. Ooh, 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 ooh. Nobody slows down.
Rainwater sliding off the highway, clouds breaking into white. You're tracing routes across the dashboard like we've got somewhere important to be. Gas stations blur behind us, coffee cooling by the seat. The whole city feels farther every mile we leave behind. Funny how silence changes once the storm finally passes. After the rain clears, everything looks brand new. Street lights shining in puddles, sky opening into blue. We roll down the window laughing, cold air rushing through. And suddenly this long drive feels bigger than the road, bigger than the road, bigger than the road. The radio station cuts between songs, half static, half old rock. You start singing random harmonies to lyrics you don't even know. There's a diner near the overpass, neon flickering in the gray. A waitress wipes the counter slowly, like time forgot this place. Maybe freedom isn't leaving, maybe it's finally breathing again. Showing far away, traffic fading in the distance as the clouds dissolve to gold. Still between unfinished thoughts and things we never say, this quiet afternoon somehow feels impossible to lose. I used to think peace would arrive all at once. Freeway like rivers in the dark. You fall asleep beside the window, music low against the rain. And for the first time in a while, nothing feels too heavy. The tires hum beneath the night, and the city disappears behind us. Another Monday morning. Hey! Another Monday morning. Train doors opening too early, cold wind rushing underground. Everybody holding coffee like survival in a paper cup. A man runs past the bakery, tie flying in the rain. Someone curses at a taxi, then laughs at himself instead. Somehow every city morning feels the same and different too. Hey Monday, you don't scare me like before. Gray skies hanging over downtown, still we're singing through it all. showing up for. I keep moving, I keep moving, I keep moving. You dance while waiting at the crosswalk, ignoring every staring face. The traffic light starts blinking, but you finish half the chorus first. A busker underneath the station misses every second chord. Yeah, still people drop spare change like they needed that song anyway. Hey, maybe perfect days were never really the point. Hey, Monday, rainwater on the avenue, people rushing toward elevators under silver office lights. Still between the noise and movement and another crowded train, we keep finding little reasons not to hate the morning yet. I used to think growing up meant finally feeling certain. Hey, Monday, clouds breaking into gold, sunlight bouncing off the windows of apartments overhead. You wait before the station closes, coffee warm in both your hands, and suddenly the whole damn city feels alive again. Somebody starts humming beside me, and half the train joins in. The summer nights again. Found some Polaroids in the glove box, faded edges, summer light. You were laughing near the ocean, holding fries with both your hands. There's a scratch across the dashboard from that trip back in July, when we got lost outside the city, looking for the coastal road. Funny how old memories still smell a little like rain. Polaroids in the glove box, shaking softly with the turns. Streetlights sliding across your face while the highway slowly curves. We thought we had forever, like people always do. Now some nights I drive for hours just to feel close to those days again. Those summer nights again. The radio plays old songs badly, static cutting through the chords. You used to sing the wrong lyrics, then laugh before the chorus hit. There's a diner past the overpass, still glowing after dark. I almost stopped there yesterday, just because your seat felt empty. Maybe missing someone is just a memory refusing to sit still. Polaroids in the glove box, clouds hanging over town, rain beginning on the windshield as the evening settles down. And still between these quiet highways and unfinished conversations, part of me keeps looking for you at every red light stop. I used to think time would blur everything eventually. Polaroids in the glove box, morning starting far away. First light stretching through the mountains, turning silver into gold. I pull over near the coastline, cold coffee in my hand, and for a second I can almost hear you singing next again. The picture slips onto the passenger seat as the song fades out.
Burned my toast again this morning. Spilled some coffee on my shoes. Missed the green light at the crosswalk while replying half asleep. The train arrived exactly early, which somehow felt a little rude. Now I'm speed walking through downtown, holding breakfast in my teeth. Honestly, this week's a mess already, and it's only Monday. Probably fine, probably doing better than I think. Everybody looks confused under office building lights. Keys missing, phone dying, rain starting at the worst time. Still somehow I'm laughing, running through the avenue. Probably fine, probably fine. A stranger compliments my jacket, then walks into the wrong cafe. Someone drops a tower of folders and the whole lobby starts applauding. He texts me, don't forget to eat, like I'm 12 years old again. Then send a blurry dog photo from somewhere near your office. Maybe growing up is just getting better at improvising. Probably fine, taxi splashing rainwater sideways, people dancing around puddles like badly coordinated movies. Still between the chaos, somehow little good things sneak through, enough to make this tired city feel less impossible today. I thought adults would have cleaner apartments than this. Probably fine, clouds breaking over downtown, coffee steaming in the cold air as the traffic slowly moves. I missed the train again on purpose just to finish this song, and suddenly the whole damn morning doesn't feel so bad anymore. The barista spells my name wrong again. I don't even correct it. Streetlights fading one by one outside the corner cafe. The baker flips the sign around before the sun arrives. You sit wrapped inside your sweater, hands around a warming cup. Still too early for conversation, still too quiet for the world. Some mornings feel suspended between dreaming and awake. Before the city wakes, everything moves softer. Coffee steam against the windows, blue light on the floor. You look out toward the empty streets, like you're waiting for the day. And somehow this small silence feels more honest than words. For a little while, a taxi rolls past slowly, rainwater shining gold. Someone stacks the chairs outside the flower shop. Downstairs you hum a melody so quietly I almost miss the tune. Still it hangs there in the air long after you stop singing. Maybe peace arrives before the noise remembers us. Before the city wakes, the world still feels unfinished. Half-lit signs and sleepy buildings floating through the gray. Still between the first train echoes and unopened office doors, we get one tiny hour that belongs to nobody else. I used to think calmness had to be earned somehow. Before the city wakes, clouds turning into gold, morning spilling through the rooftops. As the traffic slowly starts, you smile while reaching for your jacket, coffee nearly gone. And suddenly I wish this quiet hour lasted longer. The cafe door swings open softly, and the day finally begins.
Two, three, four, yeah. Missed my stop this morning, watching sunlight hit the train. Some kid dancing near the doorway, like the whole world knew his name. Coffee splashed across my jacket. Rain started for 5 whole minutes. Then the clouds broke open, laughing like they changed their mind again. Maybe good days don't announce themselves. Maybe they just quietly begin. Green lights ahead, windows down inside my head. Everybody rushing somewhere, but today I'm not behind. Bad timing, wrong turn, songs I only know half the words to. Still somehow this Monday morning feels lighter than before. Lighter than before. There's a woman near the station, handing flowers out for free. A barista burns the first espresso, then shrugs dramatically. You text, don't overthink today, like you already know me well. Then send a picture of the skyline breaking gold above downtown. Maybe happiness looks ordinary until you finally slow down enough. Green lights ahead, rain drying on the avenue. Taxi mirrors catching sunlight under pale blue afternoon skies. Still between the noise and movement and unfinished weekly plans, something in this tired city finally feels awake again. I spent years waiting for life to suddenly start. Green lights ahead, clouds opening over rooftops, people pouring through the stations into another restless day. I smile before the doors close, music leaking from my phone, and suddenly the whole damn world feels like it's moving with me. The crossing signal starts beeping, and everybody walks at once. Fresh paint on the cafe doorway, Monday written in the air. Someone opens up the windows, letting sunlight fill the room. The girl behind the counter's dancing to a song from 2009, burning through another playlist before the rush arrives. Maybe starting over looks smaller than we imagined. Clean slate cafe, coffee steaming through the cold, people carrying half-finished dreams into another week. You smile like the world's not ending, even with the news outside, and somehow the tiny optimism starts spreading through the room, through the whole room. A businessman forgets his wallet, then laughs instead of swearing. Someone leaves a note beside the sugar, hope today goes easy on you. Rain, water dries across the sidewalk, buses hiss beside the curb, and the city slowly stretches like it barely slept at all. Maybe hope survives inside little ordinary habits. Clean slate cafe, clouds fading into blue, conversations mixing softly with the sound of clinking cups. Still between the noise and movement and another crowded week, people keep rebuilding pieces of themselves without noticing. I used to think new beginnings had to feel dramatic. Pretending not to notice the song they love just started playing. You wave while heading for the station, coffee warm in both your hands, and suddenly this ordinary Monday feels worth trying again. The bell above the cafe door keeps ringing. Nobody seems in a hurry.
Rain keeps falling past midnight, streetlights blur across the room. Your sweater hanging by the doorway still smells a little like perfume. The kettle hums inside the kitchen, cars move softly down below, and every quiet little sound tonight feels heavier than usual. Some people leave slowly, long before goodbye arrives. When the rain finally stops, will this feeling fade with it? Will the city dry around me like nothing ever happened here? You said take care so gently, I almost believed I could. Still somehow your empty coffee cup hurts more than it should. More than it should. There's a taxi waiting downstairs, its headlights shaking in the rain. I almost called your number, then watched the screen go dark again. The radio plays old love songs too quietly to understand. Still I keep listening closely, like your voice might slip through static. Maybe heartbreak sounds softer after midnight. When the rain finally stops, clouds drifting out of view, people waiting for the morning shifts, like the world kept moving on. Still between the silence and the space you left behind, part of me keeps reaching used to think love would leave with one clean ending. When the rain finally stops, morning's spreading pale and blue. First trains moving through the darkness under dripping telephone wires. I stand beside the window waiting, coffee growing cold again. And somewhere in the quiet, I finally let you go. The car passes through the puddles outside, and everything goes still.
Last train moving through the station, blue lights shaking on the floor. Everybody staring downward like they've done this all before. Rainwater sleeping on the windows, static humming through my headphones. The city feels like television, playing softly after midnight. Some nights don't feel lonely until they finally slow down. Static skies, streetlights glowing silver white, clouds drifting over rooftops like they forgot where to go. You used to call around this hour just to talk about nothing. Now the silence fills the spaces before I even notice it, notice it. Notice it. There's a man asleep beside me, holding flowers in his hands. Someone laughs from farther down the car, then disappears at the next stop. I replay old conversations like reruns late at night, trying to find the moment things started feeling different. Maybe memories fade unevenly, some parts staying too bright. Static skies, morning hiding far away, train tracks humming underneath the slowly awakened city. Still between the passing stations and unfinished thoughts again. Part of me keeps missing people I already lost. I used to think moving on would feel more obvious than this. Pale and gold, first buses moving through downtown under fading neon signs. The train doors open slowly, cold air fills the car, and suddenly the whole night feels farther than before. The station lights flicker once and disappear behind me. Monday waking up around me, subway shaking underneath, someone running through the station, trying not to spill their coffee. Sunlight bouncing off the buildings, clouds breaking into white. Everybody carrying stories nobody completely knows. Oh, wrong turns, late trains, half-finished conversations. Still somehow this messy little life feels worth running toward. With a running toward. Like nobody's watching her. Someone opens up a newspaper, then folds it back unread. You text good luck today before the train goes dark, and somehow those three little words stay with me for hours. Maybe hope survives inside ordinary people. Wide open Monday, rain drying on the avenue, taxi mirrors catching sunlight under pale blue afternoon skies. Oh, still between the noise and movement and another crowded week, part of me keeps believing better days are close enough to touch. I spent years waiting for life to finally feel meaningful. Wide open Monday morning, stretching through downtown, people pouring through revolving doors as the traffic starts to sing. Woo! I smile before the platform closes, coffee warm in both my hands, and suddenly the whole damn city feels like it's moving with me. The crossing light turns green, and everyone starts walking together.